Hello, and welcome to Cities Skylines 2. They they finally made another one. I'm gonna be honest, I have already played this game before. Uh, my first two cities absolutely failed. Well, only one of them actually failed. The other one I just didn't like, so I started over. And now I thought, well, why don't I just record this? Because I haven't been able to stream. Had some issues getting internet set up because if you can't tell from the background, I moved. But yeah, obviously I've already got some opinions on this game. I like it. It can be better though. At the moment, it feels more like an open beta than a fully released game. But I digress. You start off with a lot more money in this game than you did in the first one, which I think is more realistic. Let's see, does this map have good wind? I'm looking for 5. I think I'm just gonna accept that I'm not gonna get the full 5 and deal with it. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna build a transformer station right here. We'll connect all these up. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Oh, right. Need to send it underground or like this. I can send it here. And then we can do that. And basically what this lets us do is... This probably isn't your first Cities Skylines 2 video, but if it is, you can export excess electricity to other cities. You can export all your services actually. Well, you can export garbage. I'm pretty sure you can at least. Water and electricity and sewage, definitely. Electricity you can make a profit from. Water and sewage, you're only really getting money to offset like maintenance costs. You don't make more than you spend. It's like, oh, we've just built a new pumping station, but I don't need all that capacity, so I can recoup a bit of the maintenance. Anyway. That is some weird currents. I wonder why that is. I mean, I suppose it's because it's bumping off this, but it seems very drastic for that. So, the road and grid system is a lot different in this game. Firstly, I'm going to turn off snap to grid lines because it seems to have very high priority over everything else. I'm just not too keen on it. Also, roundabouts. I'm British. I love a good roundabout. It's like coded in our DNA, basically. And also, they made a battery city button. You can literally do a battery city in 3 fucking clicks. I'm not even kidding. Also, because this is a 2-lane road, it's trying to snap to the edges. I believe if you do existing geometry, you can put it in the middle. Oh, it's also got guidelines on still. I know there is a way to snap to the middle. That's not snapping at all. That side's a building, so that wouldn't make any difference. I mean, it doesn't matter, but yeah. Let's say 400 meters. Boom. We've got a battery city that covers the whole fucking map. Oh, hang on. Is there actually a limit to this? Oh, there is. You can only go 2.3 kilometers. Also, there are no units anymore. You go forward, it's in meters. Or I guess it would be in yards or feet if you're playing on the... Oh, that's save games. Let's see what it is. So elevation is in feet, and then yards for the roads, and then miles, obviously, right? Yeah. I don't really know how long a yard is. I know it's somewhat close to a meter. Anyway, I don't know Imperial. I'm gonna set that back to metric. Oh yeah, I forgot that I've been spending money. I was gonna say, why am I so low on money? I only just started. So, what I'm gonna do here... I don't really want to do grids, but at the same time, it's a very quick way to set things up. I might... Yeah, I'll do a curve that sort of follows the river. Actually, maybe if I do this... It's quite a big curve, but this will let me go straight ahead all the way across here. So yeah, if I do that... Oh... I forget. Are you not supposed to do roads on the inside or outside of a curve? Let's look at it from this perspective. If I'm facing this way, I can see that way, I can see that way, so it must be on the inside of the curve. Yeah, your vision... Shut up. I forgot about that. But yeah, if you're coming in from this way, you can only really see up to about here. And about there. So it's definitely on the outside of the bend that you want to do roads. Instead of doing freestyle, what if I just do this at 90 degrees? How's that? Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna have to curve it one way or another though, because it's a bit of a ridiculous bridge. I could do the grid like this. I'm not sure how I feel about actually using the grid tool. I've only really used it a few times. I've got to say I'm not 100% keen on it. Doesn't seem to have very good... Like, when you're connecting to a road like this, if there's a slight bend, it really doesn't like it. And sometimes it tries to replace the road if you're using a different road type. Maybe if I go out... I'm trying to think multiples of 8. I mean, it's all multiples of 8, but ones that does divide nicely. 400, obviously. 80 less is 320. That doesn't look too bad. So if I do 320 by 512, and that sort of lines up with this. Not perfectly, but actually, how perfectly does it line up? And 90-degree angle, it's not too bad, is it? If I do this, you will see the grid really doesn't like this zoning, because this has not been perfectly measured out. Is the road is at a half unit. If I go out of my way, snap to the zoning grid like this, then this will blend together, but that's also another example. The grid is a lot more in depth and doesn't work too well at times. And also, you might notice on curves, it doesn't line up perfectly. That's more realistic. You wouldn't have like 5 different houses here, all at a slightly different angle to make them perfectly line up with the road. At least you wouldn't usually. Also, the housing situation is a lot more in depth. You don't just have low density and high density, you've got low density, medium density row houses, medium density apartments, mixed zoning, which is really awesome. Like, almost every city has mixed housing. I'm not sure about in America, but in Europe, certainly, every high street you go to, you're going to have a shop floor at the bottom, and then there'll be a flat, maybe 2 or 3 above. It's just efficient use of space. Then we've got low rent housing. It's kind of like council houses, really. You know, the sort of giant towers you get. And then lastly, you've got your high rises. Low and high density for commercial. It got me confused because it says business. But these are housing. Yep. Low and high. You don't really get high until sort of late in the game when your city's already very established. It's just normal industrial. Also, that's another thing. There is actual wind direction in this game. It's stationary, the wind never changes. But if you build your factories here, all that air pollution is going to go right down here, and if you've got houses here, there's going to be a problem. There's also these underground water deposits. These are pretty cool. Instead of using, say, a water tower, which you can build everywhere, you can get a groundwater pumping station. I believe they're more expensive per unit. So the most expensive one per unit is the water tower. Then it's the groundwater pumping station, which is 20 grand for 75,000 cubic meters. Oh, hello, Wolfie. And then lastly, 10 grand for 100,000 cubic meters. I forgot your unit for a sec. Yeah? What do you want? Oh, knocked my drink there. Ah, great, I've lost my track of thought. So I've started building a grid here, but I should really plan things out a bit more. I think it might be worth biting the bullet and building our industry over on this side. What are our natural resources like? Oh. I can't check. And you can't tell visually, or at least not that I know of, if there are natural resources here. Right, how much would a bridge across here cost? Not much, all things considered. If I have a road coming off this... I didn't mean to do that. What I wanted to do is a complex curve. That's another new feature, so I can say come straight out there. Hang on. I'm using it wrong. It bends around that point, and then it bends around this point. What I want is just a simple curve. Come on, stop telling me it's in water. The bridges are really weird. What I found I have to do is like change the elevation to be really, really small increments, and then just see how much it takes to lift it out of the water. Then we build this, then take it back down to ground level. Let's see, what's that look like? Oh yeah, that's not bad. It doesn't have to be pretty. Mind you, that won't stop me from trying. But it just has to be functional. That's another thing that annoys me. Sometimes even when you're drawing a straight road, the grid messes up. That'll do. Doesn't have to be pretty, just has to be functional. So I can zone all this as industry. That's another thing. Normally you'd be like, well hang on, you need to draw pylons all the way over, connect your power sources. Not in this game. They finally added it to be under roads. There is a caveat though. These roads have limited capacity. 40 megawatts for a 2-lane road. I think it's the same. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same for all of them. Low voltage has the same capacity. Until you get to actual power lines. So that's what these transformers are for. You'll want to, once you get a bigger power plant, even the coal power plant, it connects to the road's electric source. You can see those two brown, well, the more yellow lines that connect straight to the road. There's also the pylon at the back. You would connect that pylon to one of these transformers. And you'll see bottlenecks later in the game. But once these roads reach 40 megawatts, it will stop sending power to any more houses. So if you have, say, you're consuming 40 megawatts, a house gets built here, the bottleneck will be here, and this house won't get any electricity, even if you're producing enough. So you'd want to build a transformer here, connect it directly to the power station, and then it's sorted. These also have a max capacity. It only really matters for the hydroelectric power plant. Doesn't matter for that. And the nuclear power plant. I found that out in my other playthrough. So I was like, I should be making a lot more from exporting this. And then I realized there's a bottleneck in the power lines themselves. You know you're in the way, Wolfie. I swear I turned the ads off. Apparently I did. Oh. God damn it, I've lost my train of thought again. It's been a while since I've done this. And I've got a cat that's distracting me. Also, another thing they've added, which is really awesome, alleyways. Gravel roads were already in the game, but they're now a lot narrower. They're like the width of one lane in a normal road, and pedestrian streets. This was a mod feature. It didn't always work well, but there were mods that would give you pedestrian streets. And it's just almost every European city, again, America mostly developed after the car and had a lot of car lobbying. So all the cities were built car first, pedestrians later. In Europe, outside of a few hellscape cities, like I think it's Frankfurt, it might not be. Frankfurt, I'm sorry if it is not you, and I've just libeled you. But you will find cities that have walkable areas where very few cars are allowed. And now the game has that. Excuse me. It's only 8:30. Don't know why I'm tired. Oh yeah, industry will also pollute these. I don't know if it depletes them or just contaminates them. I haven't really polluted any of the places that have groundwater, and I never use them aside from the geothermal power plant, which you can unlock later. I mean, this produces ground pollution, so I can't imagine that it would deplete the water supplies. It must only contaminate them. You know, I don't like that road being completely straight. I think it should sort of meet up. Is that where the grid happens? Yeah. I think what would be really nice if I have the guidelines. That's at a 90-degree angle, right? No. Oh, right. This isn't a perfect 90-degree curve. So I used the wrong roads, but that doesn't matter. If I do it to there, maybe do the grid here. No, I don't like that. If I do a curve here, wrong curve. Oh. We are already a tiny village and we haven't even placed a house down. So, new progression system. You don't just unlock buildings with every population milestone. You don't even have population milestones. It's experience. You get experience for building things, you get experience for happiness, you get experience for population growth. You kind of just passively get it. Right, so now we've got a development point. You can really min-max with this game now. Like, I could say I really want to export a lot of power, which is not a bad strategy. That is a very good way to make easy money. You buy the emergency battery station, and then you buy the geothermal power plant. And then you're basically getting free money as long as you have people to work the power plant. Or, say, I don't want to build a landfill, so I let my citizens call in garbage trucks from the next city over, and then when I reach the next milestone, boom, I build a recycling center or an incineration plant, which I've heard is bugged. If you build this, it will actually generate some rubbish instead of dealing with it. So that's funny. Same for medical clinic. Maybe I don't want a medical clinic, or maybe I don't want a cemetery. I can get a crematorium or a hospital. Or if you really want to be weird, you could get a disease control center. I don't know why you'd want to, but you can. You're not limited anymore. Well, besides having to reach the milestones, you're not limited. Anyway, I don't really need to get anything yet. Oh, you don't technically unlock everything until milestone 5, but you've reached that so fast that it doesn't really matter. And you wouldn't have the points until that milestone anyway. Right.
And I always end up there, always unsuspecting, so easy to lure them away from all the angels within. I am running from something I'm becoming, unstoppable, and I'm coming from the something that I'm running from, becoming one, always running like something might be coming to follow me, and I'm running from the something that I'm coming from, becoming one. I am letting go of all I know from this buried well of consciousness. I can barely hear the rain. Everyone becomes anonymous. All their faces seem the same. Always unrelenting, descending into our own nightmare. From this twisted fantasy, falling far away from the beauty of annihilation, into the faceless space beyond. I am running from something I'm becoming, unstoppable, and I'm coming.
That's another thing. When you're upgrading roads, or well, replacing them, you can decide how it gets upgraded. So if you have, say, a building here that you can't demolish, you can upgrade it this way. It's very handy. Let's see if I can do this as a grid. Oh yeah, apparently. And then I might be able to get away with connecting these. Sort of transplant the two grids together. Yeah, that works. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it works. And it's probably realistic towards how cities develop. I was gonna say this isn't very realistic, but no. You get messed up junctions like this all the time. I'm pretty sure there are junctions worse than this in New York. Then again, that's also kind of cheating because it's New York. I might do this to connect these together. That's another way to use the complex curve. And then just do a turn off stepped guidelines. I could do it straight through to here. I'm not sure how I feel about that. How about that? No. Don't make it fancy, just do a straight line. And then I can... I wish there was a hotkey to turn on snap to guidelines. Hang on. I want it to be at 180 degrees. Alright, that's good. That's good. It's not the prettiest city in the world, but it's plausible. That's about all I can say, really. Also, if you press I'm not sure what key that's called. The one that usually opens like consoles is kind of like a weird apostrophe. It's right below the escape key. I really don't know what it's called. But yeah, if you press that, it basically puts you in a screenshot mode. It's very awesome. Also, I've been paused this entire time. I might get the crematorium. I'm not sure though. Yeesh. You know, I don't really like this road, but I think it's better than having two junctions right next to each other. This. Oh god, and there's traffic lights here. And the traffic lights don't connect to each other, so theoretically, you can have a red light here, and then it changes to green, and then you've still got a red here. Oh boy. That's not my problem though. I mean, it is. I'm the one who designed the roads. You know what? There's an easy solution. Complex curve. Hang on. I think I need to do it sort of between. And then between. There we go. So if I do that in the middle, do that in the middle. Is this song from Surviving Mars? It very well could be. It sounds very Surviving Mars-y. And it's the same developers. That's another game I should play on here. Surviving Mars is a fun one. Hang on. You're telling me this is considered one road? And that... Okay, that one makes more sense. I kind of want to connect this now. I'm a bit addicted to showing off complex curve tool. Oh. Oh wait, I think that was an autosave that messed things up. This game has crashed on me a few times, so I definitely want autosaves on. Like I said, it's more like an open beta than a fully released game. Now, sewage you can just connect up with a pipe. The water pump, however, this needs to be on the road network. But that means I can show off a very cool feature. And that is snap to size of buildings. That is, if I use the straight road tool, perfectly in line with the building, and it just snaps onto it. In fact, I could draw around the entire thing. Confusingly, this is where the building starts, but if I had, say, a school and I was like conflict nerd and wanted to surround the entire building in a road to make it look nice, I could do that easily with the snap to size of building tool. What I really like it for is for drawing paths around buildings. You know, I find it a bit perplexing that you unlock all three of these with the first milestone, but you can't buy any of them from the first milestone. It's like, oh, you can unlock it now. We're not going to give you enough points to do it, though. But yeah, snap to size of building, really cool tool. I think I'm going to do this without drawing a massive alleyway all the way over here or here. is I'm just gonna take, what is this road called? Magnolia Street. I'm gonna take Magnolia Street and draw it in freestyle. Well, it's continuous. And then let's bring this here with the assumption that it will start running in parallel to Orchard Street. I really should have my glasses on. Now we can take Manor Lane over here and just... I'm kind of tempted to do a complex curve here. Hang on. It's just so fun to use. But yeah, since water pipes and sewage pipes all run under the roads, except for highways and bridges, that can catch you out. In fact, because I bring it up. Right. For some reason, it's only the bridges that are specialized. I've got plenty of money, so I can just do this. If I draw this bridge, water pipes don't flow under this. Neither does electricity. Actually, it looks like on this one, electricity does flow on it. I'm really not good at making this point, am I? Some bridges don't carry electricity or water. There. That works. So you're gonna have to remember to draw your water pipe or your sewage pipe or your combi pipe underneath the bridge. Highways definitely don't. You can see it here. Anyway, I think it's safe to unpause the game now. I've had it on pause way too long. Oh, I didn't want to zone there. So if I do this... Please shut up. There we go. So if I zone all this as housing... Also another cool thing, it's more realistic with the building. Like, we don't have magical scaffolding. The skyscrapers, the cranes get a bit ridiculous when it comes to skyscrapers though. And if you look here, Residence 0, Residence 1, even when you have it zoned, they won't actually build it. Oh well, I just realized because I hit the first milestone, I have row homes unlocked. So that's another thing, we've got different demands here. We've got low density residential and medium density residential. You get 6 bars at the end. But also, the medium and high especially density demand goes down super fast. In fact, I'm gonna dezone all this so they only build in this block. I'll also demolish that. You can also take a loan. It doesn't automatically repay anymore, you just pay interest. But yeah, row homes, this takes 6 people when it's a full-size row home. These 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. These barely house any people. I'm also forgetting to zone commercial. Let's do that along the main road here. Is industry getting built? Yep. So yeah, you don't want to zone a bunch of medium density because it will never get filled. I'm also going to demolish that. Sometimes they'll build off this street. In fact, there is a workaround to that. If you just dezone this bit, they'll stop building there. And they'll be forced to build off this road. And there are no one-by-one houses anymore. So once a house has been built there, like that, you can just zone it back. And it will basically force it to build like that. I should probably do the same here. I really like these houses. They don't look too nice from the top though. They kind of look a bit weird. But looking at them from, say, this angle, they look really nice. I kind of wish they were considered low density though, because there's really only 2 houses here. This is what we'd call terraced housing, and that's usually families. And that's what the low density demand is in this game, really, families. But it's considered medium density, which I guess relative to these giant homes, they are medium density compared to them. I'm also going to demolish this. I don't really want these 2x1 homes. They mess up the grid and they don't give you as much money. And everyone knows money is important. Speaking of money, let's take a look at how much we're getting. Oh, we don't have services unlocked yet. Service trade, 25,993 a month from exporting electricity. We can't see how much the electricity is costing us to make, but we should be making a profit. Let's see, 15,000, so 45,000, what are we making? Oh, we're actually making a loss, but these guys are using electricity, so it's not really a loss. Oh, that's what that is. Save game in progress. Finally solved the mystery. Also, you probably won't be able to make it out, but the FPS counter should be in the recording. These are my settings for graphics. Well, it's custom, so that doesn't tell you much, but I've got a lot of things on medium, and I've also got the dynamic resolution with the AMD, what is it, super resolution or whatever, which is basically AI upscaling. Even with all that, with a 1080 Ti, which is above the minimum but slightly below the recommended, I'm still getting a solid 30 FPS with basically nothing going on. In my other city, which has like, I didn't really stop to count, I think it's about 60,000 people, mostly in the medium and high density. I was getting like 10 FPS. So I'm really hoping that they fix the performance issues before we get to that point. Let's get some more homes zoned in. Do we need more commercial? We need a little bit more. We'll see it get filled up. Actually, I should dezone these just in advance so we're not dealing with this. Also, I named the city Firestead. I thought something like Pyroville or what was the other one? Firetown, I think. but spelled with an I. I thought that was a bit on the nose. I'm open to suggestions though. Like, this was what, 1 minute of me thinking of a name. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. I'll probably use it. It's more of a placeholder name, really. Look at this. So, someone's died here, unfortunately. They were a senior, that happens. And they're waiting for a hearse. Now, we don't have a cemetery or a crematorium, but if you look here, it says arriving vehicles 1. So if we go over, they're coming in from... Oh, they're coming in from Chatham, which is a neighbouring city. I believe we pay a tiny bit. Service trade. I guess we don't pay. I guess they pay out of their own money. But we're basically importing these resources from another city, which isn't ideal. These guys want ambulances. These guys want ambulances, they want hearses. All that's going to come from the next city over. Anyone notice there's no housing available? There is plenty of housing. You can also go off the number of likes to base how important the issues are. So if someone says there is no houses and they've got 2 likes, they're probably just lying. But things like, we're now hiring. If the unemployment rate is high, I'm presuming a load of people are gonna like it. And then, what was it? I've appalled at how healthcare is run in the city. 15 likes. Which makes sense, we don't have any healthcare. AC, that makes sense. That's basically the #1 concern, healthcare. So we can go ahead, we can place a medical clinic down. What's the range on this? Looks like there's loads of range, so I may as well... I'll build it here, because this has a lot of space around it. These are actually expandable. They're modular pretty much. So I can... Some upgrades like this, you can only build 1 of, and they stay on the footprint of the building. Other ones like this though, maybe we'll terraform that. But the patient wing, all of the elementary school ones, in fact all the school ones in general, other than extension wings, will be exterior buildings like this that you can build more of. All that sort of stuff you can build an unlimited amount of as long as there's space. Oof. That is not good terraforming. Fuck. What's my train of thought again? Upgrades. They happen. You can build as many as you want, so long as you've got room, and they have to be directly connected to the building. Right. I think it would be a good idea for us to get crematoriums, because they're cheaper to run and they take up less space than a cemetery. That's basically the only reason. So let's place that here. And as you can see, because we built it... Shut up. Milestone reached. Let me shut this guy up. In fact, could I just play a different one? I wish that guy would just shut up. Crematorium, refrigerator expansion, hearse garage, additional incinerator. Yeah, that's got upgrades. Pretty much everything except one-time buildings will have upgrades. I forgot to rezone this, didn't I? Also got apartments available now. I think I'm just gonna build these 2 blocks, and then we'll go back to row houses. Take off the ends. And then we can start building low density over here. So annoyingly, if you build a road next to a river or any water, it says you can zone all the way out here, and you can. But when they build those, if I build this and they start building here, they're gonna complain about flooding. Even though they terraform it and there's no water in their property, it will still get destroyed by flooding. It's very annoying. I'm guessing it's a bug, but you just have to manually zone it to be wherever the water level reaches the road. So I basically can't do anything here until it gets wider. I can maybe do something here, and that would work. Ah, that's another thing. Signature buildings. When you zone a certain number of properties, so say, I think this one's 500 cells, this one's... Oh no, it has to be 2,500. This one's 10,000. Place it down. It gives you a special effect. This one's +2 well-being within 500 meters. But say this one +5 within a kilometer, plus 1% chance of graduating from university across the city. More people are interested in university. Offices are more efficient. That's another thing. We'll get to that. Yeah, these are very handy. They'll also house people. So if you build, say, the grass crown, that's high density. It will probably house like 600 people or something. So it will really eat into your demand if you have it, which can be good, but can also be bad. It really depends. But we'll just build this here. In fact, no, I want this guy to have a nice fancy house. It's supposed to be a pop musician. And then now this guy's got a nice private road to his fancy mansion. And everyone's happy. I don't actually know what well-being does. I don't think you can see it on the map. There's happiness, population, building level. I don't think you can actually see the well-being. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. Oh well. All these houses are nice. These ones are being built out. Oh, this is going to be the apartment style buildings. Also, we're getting people complaining about lack of education. As you can see, people don't start off uneducated. Not in this game, at least. I'm pretty sure they did in Cities Skylines, though. The first one. So you will get people moving in that are already educated. But to raise the education, which you're gonna want to do. You have to build schools. Makes sense. I think I don't like that it's not central. I might destroy that road and then build the school right here. Oof. I didn't know it was on a hill. Then we've got the high school. I might build that here. Also, annoyingly, you can't see the coverage for the high school. You can for the elementary school, but not for the high school. Then there's also colleges. I could theoretically get them now, but what I'd rather get is this recycling center. Because I don't particularly want to pollute. I don't want to have a landfill that fills up either. Also, you can see we're kind of running out of space. Every time you reach a new milestone, you get progression. You get map tiles. And you don't actually start in a 1x1 anymore. You start in a 3x3. So I could say buy these. And it also tells me information. So there's a little bit of fertile land here. There's groundwater deposits. There's wood, which obviously you can see. But there's no oil and there's no ore. And it also tells you buildable area. So I can place that there, and then place that. And then all of a sudden, we've got a bigger city, but the borders aren't perfect squares anymore. Well, there's still squares, the smallest squares. And you get a lot more control. So if I only want... Well, this is actually a good example. If I only want access to the railway, I don't want an entire new city-sized border. I could just buy this tile here, or this tile here, and I don't have to buy all this land. So that's a very neat feature. Now commercial demand is high again. I'm just going to zone the other side of the road. It's probably not good to have all my commercial centralized like this. I was going to zone that in, but I can't. Not yet. Not if I want these perfect row homes. Speaking of... no. Just no. Stop building the 2x1s. It's kind of silly that they'll build a 2x1 here, because, like, you're basically limiting yourself to have no back garden for no reason. I suppose it would make it slightly cheaper to buy the land, but then you've just got a field behind your house that you can't even go in. Ah well. I need to stop pausing. There is no reason to pause in this game unless something is going tragically wrong. That's still in the replace tool. That's another thing. You will have persistence. Persistence? Is that the right word to use? If I set this up to be curved and then I switch over to build a medium road, it will keep my settings. So even the elevation step here, because I built that bridge earlier, it's still set to the smallest elevation step, which is 1.25? 1.25. But here, if I go up in elevation, it's 10 meters. It's just handy, though it has caught me off guard multiple times. Oh, I didn't measure that out. I've got no reason to be nitpicky about it. but I want it to be a nice number. Let's see, 480. I mean, 480 is good. What about 520? There. Oh, that's another thing. Parallel roads. Very handy. I wish you could do it with different road sizes. But it's not the end of the world. Alright. I might draw... Oop, turn that off. I might draw this out. Oh, that's handy. I didn't realize I still had guidelines turned on. If I do that there, and then draw this straight, and then this at 90 degrees, this should be parallel now. Just to double check. Yep, that seems fine to me. Oh, that's another thing. City statistics, just good to know. Economy, we still can't see our services. That's a bit annoying. Taxation. What I found you can kind of get away with doing is zero tax for residential. That will bring the demand up really, really high, which is great for early game. Like, look, it's already going up. Oh, it was. Until I increased the rest industrial. Oh, they probably just built houses. And now it's going up. But I've also got all this space zones, so yeah, they're just building houses. That's why it was going down. Kylie, what is your problem? There is a clinic right here, coverage of the entire city. There's like 700 people here. See? Booker. Strange name. Booker is very positive about the city. I don't know what Kylie's problem is. It's just a negative Nancy. I might send this all the way through. In fact, come on. 90 degrees. Ah, that's perfect. 180 degrees. Ooh, I don't like that. I'll live with it. I don't like it though. The grid just breaks up sometimes. Oh, that is at an angle. If I draw it in the middle of the zoning, that should be good. See? This side. Nice and beautiful. This side. What the hell is this? I don't get it. That's probably a reason for it. They're building all these flats, but not any of the row homes. So let's just take a moment to admire the graphics on these. Oh my god, they've even got that fake 3D effect. That is so cool. I forgot how it works, but they do the same thing in Spider-Man. Just these are very blurry. Like in Spider-Man, if you go on the side of a building and you're looking through the window, there's this fake 3D space. And it looks real. It changes with angles and everything. But it's not actually rendering all that inside. Anyway, we have just hit milestone 3. And I think that, for now, that is going to be where we leave it. Because we've just started out. Milestone 3, we get a lot of new things at our disposal. Mainly, mainly police and admin and fire and rescue. You don't really need any of this until mid-game anyway. Also got all the other stuff we had previously. Yeah, it's mainly the progression points, well, development points. But anyway, I think that's a good place to leave it off for now. I'll see you in the next episode, hopefully with a better name than Firestead. And you can continue expanding. Maybe, do we have specialized industry? We just got it. We can look into getting some specialized industry, maybe over here. Or here. Ooh, there's even a little bit right here. Stone you can place anywhere. That's stuff for next episode, though. Bye. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it a lot, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you can like, comment, and subscribe, and also check out my Twitch, that would mean the world to me. Have a wonderful rest of your day.